As Atlas continues its silent glide through interplanetary space, observatories across the world are tracking every flicker of light it emits. And every day brings new information, most of it raising more questions than answers. The object has not developed a tail. It has not shed dust. It remains a radiant sphere, glowing in a color so unnatural for comets that some researchers no longer call it a comet at all. What's even more unusual is its orbit. Most interstellar objects enter our solar system at steep, random angles, crashing through the planetary plane like cosmic debris with nowhere specific to go. But Atlas moves almost perfectly within the ecliptic plane, the same thin disk where every major planet travels. The odds of this happening naturally are less than 0.2%. A coincidence so rare that many astronomers quietly agree. This trajectory looks chosen, not accidental. The ionized green-blue glow adds to that suspicion. Spectral analysis shows unusually high concentrations of nickel, far higher than typical cometary bodies. Nickel is commonly found in metal-rich asteroids, but in Atlas the ratio is extreme, almost as if its structure is supplemented or reinforced with metallic compounds. Even stranger, its water content is extremely low, around 4%. Natural comets often contain 50 to 80% frozen water. Atlas is nearly dry, more like a manufactured shell than an icy wanderer. Its velocity is another anomaly. Atlas is moving faster than any known object of its size and mass. Anything that heavy should be heavily constrained by gravitational forces. But Atlas behaves like something that chooses its path, not something that suffers it. It accelerates slightly when the sun's gravity should slow it down. It drifts inward toward Earth's orbital zone when gravitational models predict it should be curving outward. And those occasional sunward jets, appearing for minutes at a time before vanishing, suggest bursts of thrust rather than natural outgassing. As researchers sift through data, every natural explanation slowly collapses. It's too spherical to be a random rock. Too stable to be an icy body-shedding material. Too reflective to be dust-coated. Too consistent to be falling apart. One by one, the signs point towards something extraordinary, technology rather than geology. Which raises one question. What exactly is Atlas? It could be a probe launched by a long-lost civilization. Many scientists have speculated about ancient stellar societies that rose and collapsed millions of years before humanity even existed. If such civilizations ever sent probes into interstellar space, many could still be wandering between stars, powered by long-lived mechanisms we barely understand. It might also be an automated explorer, a machine built to catalog planets and harvest data silently, indifferent to the passage of time. Or perhaps a derelict craft, still functioning on the fragments of its original systems, following embedded instructions written in a language we may never decipher. Whatever it is, it's heading toward the region Earth occupies. Not dangerously close, but close enough to study with every instrument humanity has. On December 19, 2025, Atlas will reach its nearest approach, about 167 million miles away. That's far, but close enough for James Webb, Hubble, the Vera Rubin Observatory, and dozens of radio telescopes to capture its structure in unprecedented detail. By then, we might finally know if there are panels, symmetry, seams, or any hint of artificial geometry. Or if, by some cosmic miracle, it's a natural object unlike anything ever discovered. For now, tension grows across the astronomical community. Observatories are preparing coordinated observation campaigns. Space agencies are scheduling real-time tracking. Scientists are writing papers they never thought they would write. And the public is watching, wondering if this green, glowing sphere drifting silently toward our orbit is simply a cosmic anomaly, or a sign that we are not alone. As Atlas approaches, its light continues to pulse, steady and unwavering. Whatever it is, it behaves with purpose. It keeps its course. It maintains its glow. It accelerates with intent. And in just weeks, when December 19th arrives, humanity may face a revelation that will change history. Either we will confirm Atlas as a bizarre natural wonder that challenges physics, or we will witness the first undeniable evidence that another intelligence reached our solar system long before we were ready to notice. The universe may have been sending signals all along. And this time, we might finally. On November 5, 2025, the astronomy community was shaken to its core when new images arrived from the Virtual Telescope project. These weren't typical grainy snapshots of a faint object drifting through space. They were crisp, luminous, and hauntingly detailed, revealing the interstellar traveler known as 3E Atlas in a form no one expected. What appeared on those screens didn't resemble a comet, an asteroid, or any natural object we're familiar with. Instead, Atlas showed itself as a compact, glowing green sphere. No tail, no fog of dust, no gas cloud surrounding it, just a bright, clean, solid object emitting a strange coloration as if it were lit from deep within. At first, astronomers hesitated. We've been fooled by interstellar objects before. Oumuamua and Borisov had both challenged what we thought we knew, but eventually we squeezed them into familiar categories. They were odd, yes, but still explainable. So researchers initially classified Atlas the same way, an icy rock from another star system, wandering into ours by chance. But that illusion didn't last long. Because Atlas didn't behave like either of those earlier visitors. Its brightness didn't fluctuate. Its shape remained constant. And most unnerving of all, its trajectory was becoming unpredictable. Weeks before these latest images, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory released a revised trajectory report that stunned professionals and amateurs alike. Atlas was no longer following its expected path. It wasn't drifting passively along a predictable gravitational arc. Instead, it had begun to accelerate. Not toward the Sun, not along the typical curve of solar influence, but away from the Sun. And with every passing day, that acceleration was bending its course in one direction, toward Earth. At first glance, this sounds like science fiction. But the data is real, and the numbers don't lie. Let's break down what astronomers are seeing. When a natural comet approaches the Sun, heat vaporizes portions of its icy surface, triggering jets of gas that can nudge its path slightly. This phenomenon, outgassing, is well understood. It can produce tiny deviations measured in millimeters per second squared. But 3E Atlas isn't nudging. It's accelerating with a consistency and precision that outgassing simply cannot explain. Data from the Minor Planet Center confirms Atlas is accelerating at nearly 0.02 millimeters per second squared. That might sound tiny, but over cosmic distances, it's enormous. In just a single month, this subtle force pushed Atlas almost 80,000 kilometers off its predicted position. That deviation is too large to dismiss. And the strangest part? There's no evidence of gas or dust being expelled. Nothing visible. Nothing measurable. Nothing that would cause such a change in velocity. So what's driving it? This question has baffled even the most seasoned astrophysicists. Among them is Dr. Avi Loeb of Harvard University, who performed independent calculations based on the object's brightness and estimated mass. According to Loeb's analysis, for Atlas to accelerate naturally at this rate, it would need to expel roughly 5.5 billion tons of gas in just 30 days. That's the mass of Mount Everest, vanishing in a month. If that had happened, telescopes around the world would have seen a spectacular plume, a blazing coma, a long tail stretching across millions of kilometers. But telescopes observed none of that. Instead, Atlas shines as a smooth, solid, unbroken sphere of green-blue light. This is where the comparisons to Oumuamua began. Oumuamua also accelerated without visible jets or coma. Scientists at the time dismissed the idea of artificial origin, insisting it must be some unfamiliar type of comet fragment. But now, years later, 3E Atlas is displaying the same behavior, except on a scale far larger, brighter, and more coherent. Unlike Oumuamua's tumbling, cigar-shaped silhouette, Atlas appears perfectly spherical. And unlike Borisov's icy spray, Atlas shows no trail whatsoever. By all known measurements, Atlas is enormous. Early spectral calculations suggest it spans nearly 6 kilometers in diameter, thousands of times larger than Oumuamua. Its estimated mass approaches 33 billion tons. And yet despite that staggering mass, its acceleration remains smooth and steady, as if something inside it is regulating its motion. That is not how natural objects behave. Then comes the strangest detail of all, its glow. Shortly after perihelion, astronomers detected something impossible. A narrow jet of material, not moving away from the sun, but toward it. Nothing in nature can produce that. Solar radiation always pushes outward. For a jet to fire inward, it must be actively propelled. And as Atlas now arcs away from the sun, its trajectory is bending toward Earth. The countdown has